Hi guys, welcome back to another Eurovoxx video. My name is Chris and I am really glad to be joined by my fellow Eurovoxers Jess and Dominik tonight. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice.
Good, glad to hear it. And we are very excited tonight because it feels like quite a long time since this year's Eurovision Song Contest in Liverpool, and it is now officially Junior Eurovision season. That's right. This November the 26th, France will be hosting the Junior Eurovision Song Contest in Nice, and we've had lots of new news recently, and one of the news is we've now got our slogan and our stage reveal. So our slogan is Heroes this year. And what do we think of that?
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. The same thought.
Yeah.
I really like it, yeah. It's fitting to being like a children's show because I think every child wants to be a hero or have a hero or something. And I think that suits to the staging. I think they incorporated that pretty well. It has this Superman vibe, or at least the looks or the aesthetics of it. So that's something I really appreciate about it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. How about you, Jess?
Yeah, I think I would pretty much echo what Dominik said. I think for a contest that's primarily for kind of kids and teenagers, I feel like Heroes could be quite empowering for them, and it could encourage either them to be a hero or kind of for them to be looking up to their heroes, and I think it's quite empowering actually.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it gives so much inspiration to young people around Europe to get involved with it as Junior Eurovision gets bigger and bigger. And yeah, for those participants competing as well, they're going to feel amazing when they get there to Nice as well. That's going to be amazing. And yeah, along with our slogan reveal and our stage design, we now know who our hosts of Junior Eurovision will be. So we have, and I'm sorry in advance, I'll pronounce these French names wrong, so I hope you guys can correct me. But we have Olivier Mine, and he's no stranger to the Eurovision family. He has already hosted Junior Eurovision in 2021, and he's delivered a number of French votes for Eurovision as well. So I think he's definitely a good applicant for the role. And then joining him, we have Laurie Tillman, who is a French journalist, model, presenter, actress, and was crowned Miss France 2011.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they've definitely got a good caliber. Do you have any background information on these guys, or have you heard of them before?
Well, of course, I know a little bit about the male host. Thierry, is that his name? Olivier, sorry.
That was already better than me.
And I mean, all I really know of him is when he hosted Junior Eurovision in Paris in 2021, and I thought he did a very good job co-hosting that year's contest. So I'm very excited to see him back in the same role, and it will be interesting to see how he works with Laurie. It will be interesting to see how they gel together, if they have any kind of chemistry on stage, what it's going to be like. And I also find it interesting that they've got kind of two adults hosting the contest, because in more previous years they've added either a former representative for Junior Eurovision or some kind of teenager to the mix. So It's an interesting choice, I think.
I completely agree with you there, Jess. I think that, it's a very good combination of hosts that we've got this year. And I think that last year's winner might join them at stage at some point as well. I think it's funny, I remember the song "Oh MAMAN," but I've just forgotten the artist.
Lissandro,
of course. How about you, Dominik? What do you think of this year's hosts, and what are you hoping to see from this year's Junior Eurovision?
Yeah, so I'm not familiar about her, to be fully honest, but I obviously remember him from Junior Eurovision. And I remember overall that I truly enjoyed the show, so my expectations are pretty high, especially now because he has more experience now. And I think France is really into Junior Eurovision, apparently. There are some countries which are so-so in the big contest, but are a very big powerhouse at the Junior edition. For example, Poland, I think also Georgia and France and Albania, maybe these four. and I think they really take it maybe even a bit more serious than the adult version. So I think they're gonna be a good host, and as well as a big show, and also like maybe even a little hype behind it. So I'm pretty sure they will put a lot of effort in it. I'm happy that Paris is not the host again, so Nice has got the chance to host it this time. So it will be different, but maybe even just elevated. And considering that the show 2 years ago was pretty awesome already, especially the staging, I loved it. I think they're gonna be pretty damn good.
Oh yeah.
I definitely agree with you there. I read something funny the other day, and it said that they thought that France, it was a comment, and they said they thought France was the Sweden of Junior Eurovision.
Pretty much,
I see that.
Yeah, so it's a good reputation to have, for sure. And saying all of that, we now have some of our entries for this year's Junior Eurovision. It's always so exciting this time of year, whether it's Junior or actual Eurovision, when the first artists and songs get released. And where else to start than the host country themselves, France. And we have, and again, apologies for my pronunciation, but we have Zoe Clajeux with her song Coeur.
I
Yeah,
think.
perfect. No, thank you. Keep correcting me.
You corrected you wrongly, like ha.
Jess, have you heard of Zoe's song? And if so, what do you think of it? What do you think of France's chances this year?
It's like a tongue twister, isn't it?
Really?
I have heard the French entry this year. I've given it a very quick listen, and to me, it sounds very typically Junior Eurovision French, if that makes sense. It seems like the classic thing that they send to Junior Eurovision, which of course has worked very well for them since they returned in 2018. And I think 100 million% France are heading for another top 5, because we all know that they can stage the hell out of a song at Junior Eurovision. They're so good at that. And, you know, from what I've seen of videos on YouTube from Zoe, she seems like an amazing vocalist. So I think that, combined with a great song, combined with, I would presume, a great staging, it's got to be top 5, right?
I definitely agree with you there. I find it very interesting when Eurovision songs come out and sometimes we first see the live version, so whether that's from a national final or if we get a radio version. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that Zoe's release so far has been a radio version, so I'm really interested to see how that kind of looks on the Eurovision stage, the Junior Eurovision stage. And yeah, I really hope that, because she sounds absolutely amazing in the song, and her voice sounds so powerful for such a young person as well. So I really hope for France that she is able to deliver that just as well on stage. So yeah, Dominik, what do you think of France's entry this year, and what do you think their chances are?
I think she's in a very good position. I like the song. It's very French. Obviously, also considering that it's in French, because Junior Eurovision still has got the language rule, so they have to sing in French, but they would sing it in French anyways. I'm pretty sure about that. I preferred to the last year's entry. I wasn't the biggest fan, to be fair, and I was a bit surprised that it won. But I think if last year can win, then this can win as well. I think it has potential. I haven't seen her live yet. This was the only song with the studio version only, because all the 4 other entries had, I think, at least parts of it live published already. So it's hard to compare it just yet. But I have heard that she has got a quite big career already, or she has some kind of reputation of being a good live singer. So my expectations are pretty high now. And I think, because especially at the jury points, France is doing very well these past years, that this might be as well a jury pleaser. And I think she's in a very good position, especially considering the system, because like the online voting kind of tends to favor the jury votes because they differ way more than the online voting. Because I remember that last year UK won the online voting, but the margins were so tight. Yes, for I think she was the best one, but anyway. But the margins were so tiny that like she only finished like 6th or something, 5th. I don't know. Because the jury were basically the deciding factor. So if you're really good at this placement, I think the chances of winning are pretty high. So yeah, we will see how it goes, because only 5 entries are released now, and I think we've got like 17 countries, something like that.
16.
So 16, okay, but it's still a long way to go. But I think at the moment she's probably one of the favorites.
I completely agree with you there. I've been outstanding. This is one of the first years that I have tuned into Junior Eurovision properly, and I'm going to do that multiple times tonight. Just forget the junior bit. Here it was first broadcast on the BBC, I think, one of the first times. So I've watched a replay of that one, but I've just been so blown away so far of the talent of these young children, and just what confidence they have on stage, and just they're just singing their hearts out, which is just so nice to see. I think it's the positivity that we need at the moment as well, so for sure. But yes, I completely agree with you guys there on France. I think when I first heard it, I was like, oh yeah, this is another French banger, and it has the potential to do really well on stage. I just think, I want to see a live performance of this to be able
Me
to
too.
do it properly, because the radio version sounds so amazing. And we'll go into a bit more of that discussing our other entries. But yeah, the radio version can sound great, but sometimes it's not always translated on stage.
Yeah.
So I hope it is for Zoe, for her case, but we will have to see. So we're going to move on to our next country. Is Germany. We have Fia with her song Ohne Worte, and I hope I'm pronouncing and that's taking my German experience in school to the test.
Ohne Worte haben wir uns sofort verstanden. Ohne Worte war, wie wir zueinander fanden. Ohne Worte, die 2 Seelenverwandte. Ohne Worte.
What do we think of this one, guys? Jess, have you heard Fia's song? I believe it's just a snippet. We've just got the version at the moment.
So I've heard the snippet of what I think is more like a demo version of the song, but to me it sounds very promising, and I think, with a revamp and with a good staging, it could get a decent result for Germany. And Fia seems like a great singer as well, so I'm excited to see how this song is going to build and where they're going to take it.
I completely agree with you. I think the main one with this one is, again, she's got such great stage presence, and we can't not mention the sign language that she uses throughout her performance, which I've recently learned that her younger sister is actually deaf, so she has to use sign language to communicate with her. And it's about, again, Dominik might be able to clarify further on it, but from what I've read, the song is about their communication and just day-to-day life, really. And I think it's such a lovely way to present the song, not only because it's going to be reaching towards a wider audience of obviously hearing impaired people, but also because it's almost like interpretive dance, the way she does the sign language and the way it matches the words. So so I think it's really impactful, this entry, and again, I think we've already seen her perform in the snippet live, so it'll be really nice to see how this elevates in the contest this year. And Dominik, what do you think of your home country's entry this year?
So I really like it, especially considering the results of the 2 entries so far, which were so disappointing. Especially the first one, that was one of my favorites, and it came last. I was like, no, this is a bad start. But I'm very happy, first of all, that Germany returned after a year of of break, which was like out of nothing, basically. I didn't understand that, but I'm just happy that they returned. And I'm also glad that the song is, I think, fully in German. So I think the previous ones were combined with English. This one is German with the sign language, which is such a nice twist and also like something to stand out. I'm pretty sure she will be the only one with this. And she did, in the snippet, she did it like it is nothing to sing, to perform, and do the sign language at the same time. And also like she was also very present, like her face expressions and everything she does is very like open, friendly, and also like just a nice way to convey the message of the song, and especially understanding all the words. It's very touching because, as you have said, it has a personal touch to it. And I think she's a very good representative, and I'm not that surprised that she won because she was like participating in an online voting with 5 competing acts in total. And she also had some backstory already from The Voice Kids in Germany. She participated there. So she's already quite established and knows how to perform in front of a stage and in front of audience. So I'm pretty hopeful that we will get a better result than bottom 3.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, of course, Germany were absent at last year's Junior Eurovision in Yerevan, weren't they? So I think this is definitely... I think it's always nice when a country returns to whether it's Junior Eurovision or actual Eurovision. And it's kind of like a statement. It's like, we're back. So I'm really glad that Germany's sending not just a song, but something with a message. I think it's really special. And I think it's a very nice welcome back to the contest as well for them. So our next country is Albania, and we have for Albania Viola Giseli with her song Bote Ime. And the first performance that we had of this was at the live national final, which took place in
Tirana, I think.
Yeah, Tirana, said Tbilisi then. Tirana Square, it was like a pyramid. It looked so cool. And I think it was one of the coolest places that we had a national final for sure.
I'm not loving it, to be honest. Not hating it, but not loving it. The mix of different genres, kind of R&B, pop, this whole mix of genres is not working for me, personally. But one thing I will say is that Viola is an incredible vocalist, and I'm so excited to see how the song's going to develop.
I completely agree with you there. Yeah, definitely. Dominik, what do you think of Albania this year?
Yeah, I think the first thing I noticed was like vocals. Hello, she can sing. Very impressive. I loved the staging as well. It was outside. It kind of reminded me of the staging they had at Festival di Kangas 2021, I think, when Angela won, because they still had some COVID restrictions. So I think they had to do it outside. But I think they should keep that. It's very effectful. I really like that. The song is good. It's traditional and also a bit different at the same time, because from Albania, especially if they sing a female artist and kind of a ballad, you kind of already know what you can expect with any respect, but it kind of sounds like, okay, you tick all the boxes again, but I think this time it's a bit different, and I like the approach. Just in general, I want to say that all the 5 entries are pretty good. So it's hard to say, like it's hard to rank them because I enjoy all of them. Usually there are some songs which I dislike, I can say that. But this time, at least for now, I really enjoy all of them. And also this one, mainly because of the vocals though. So I think like some entries are a bit stronger, but still it's on a high level.
I completely agree with you there. I think her vocals are outstanding. And I think now that she's already shown that in her first live performance, we can be pretty confident that she's going to be able to deliver that on the Junior Eurovision stage too. But then saying that, I also agree with you, Jess, that it confuses me slightly when they mix the genres of songs. When I first heard the first few chords of this, I was like, hang on, is this ballad or is it pop or is it... I'm not sure what we were getting. I like the modern side of it. I like that it's quite modern, I suppose, a bit like Carrier's Cha Cha Cha. It was a little bit techno and then a little bit of almost like a bit of rock in there as well. It was a bit of a mix, and that worked in that scenario for sure. But I'm not sure in this case. We'll definitely have to see how, again, we might get a revamp before actual Eurovision, Junior Eurovision in Nice. So we'll have to see. Yeah, but then moving on to our next country, we have Poland, which is Maja Krzyzewska with her song I Just Need a Friend.
Don't we all?
I just need a friend. Ooh, ooh, tell me there's someone who would fly me to the moon. Ooh, ooh, and never let me go.
I absolutely loved her performance. I've seen your recent video, Jess, of reacting to it, and I just think I completely agree with you. She absolutely sings her heart out. And yeah, it's such an emotional song, and I've read a few comments that, oh, it's too sad, it's too emotional for Eurovision, but I think it's a really well written song. And then when she comes to the end of the song and she's like just belting out the big like bridge, I think it's amazing. And yeah, it almost got me choked up when I first reacted to it. But yeah, enough about me. Jess, what do you think of Maya's song? And yeah, what do you think Maya's chances are at this year's Junior Eurovision?
I think it's a very beautiful ballad, and Maya sings it so well. We've got another great vocalist. It's a very kind of lovely sounding song, but it's not a song that's fully grabbing my attention, and it's something that maybe is not standing out as much as I would like it to. So I think it might struggle to reach the left side of the scoreboard, but I understand they will revamp the song and properly master it and everything, so that could all change.
Definitely, 100% agree with you there. Dominik, what do you think of Maya's song this year?
I really like it, especially, again, the vocals. Damn, so good. Very emotional. Personally, I think they switching languages a bit too much. I would prefer like a part in English and a part in Polish. That would be fine, but sometimes it's a bit confusing, especially because English and Polish are so different. And maybe she has some struggles with that as well. So maybe just focus on one language, maybe even just Polish, or just having two parts. But especially in the live performance, I saw the reaction of the mom. They were focusing on that pretty often, and I think
almost just as much.
Yeah, but I think that sums it up pretty well. It's very emotional. It has a big impact on people, especially who understand the song and the lyrics, but the English part should be understandable for quite a few people. And it's something which is usually not issued, because most of the songs are about like everything's fine and happy, or something about love, but this time it's just about friendship, and not in a positive way, but in a demanding way, or in a sad way, which is an interesting approach, because you usually don't have that. And I think it's relatable to many, especially children, because let's be real, there are lonely people, there are lonely children, and also maybe some kind of mobbing as well. So I think people can identify with the song, which is very impactful.
I completely agree with you there again. Once again, this national final was just on a very small circular stage, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do with this in Nice. The stage is huge there, so yeah, as for Maya and all the other countries, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they elevate on the big stage, for sure. And last but not least, of the countries that we've got so far, we have the Netherlands. And this is Sepp and Jasmine with their song Holding On To You.
Love this song. I've had it on repeat ever since the Junior Song Festival, and the live performance really elevated this song so much. It just really comes alive on stage. I love it. Their voices sound great together. It looks visually great on stage, and this is definitely top 5 material.
I completely agree with you there. I was so happy. I think this really stood out in the national final once again, Junior Song Festival, as just being really current. And I remember hearing the studio version first, and as for many dance songs, I wasn't 100%. Sorry, I wasn't 100% sure at how this would translate on stage. But then we had the national final, and I thought it was even better. I thought it was amazing. Seth and Jasmine's voices absolutely incredible, and such a well choreographed and staged performance as well. I loved the dancers that they had on stage, the DJ girl in the back. I thought the stage wasn't too full, and I really felt that they maximised everything that they had. And yeah, I don't think an awful lot needs changing for their performance for Junior Eurovision. I think they've got such good stage presence as well, that yeah, I think it's got it all. But Dominik, what do you think?
It's my favorite so far. I really like this song. It's exactly the type of music I'm going for. Like, send these kind of songs and you get my points, honestly. As you have said, the voices are good, and especially in this kind of song, it's hard to sing. They dance a lot, and also some pretty high and long notes. And the harmonies work together, so everything suits pretty good. Also like how they incorporated the English with the Dutch. I think English is a bit more dominant here, which is totally fine, especially like the song is actually in English, the title, which is rarely the case. Usually the song has the language of their own country in it. But it just fits, and I think it's stuck in your head immediately. After one listen, I was able to sing the chorus, and that is usually not the case. So this is something you need to get points, to get attention, and also to be memorized by 16 entries. So I'm pretty hopeful, even though Netherlands were pretty high on my list last year and they weren't winning like at all. I was pretty surprised about the result. So I don't want to get too hyped up, but I think personally the Netherlands are doing a very good job here.
I completely agree with you there. It's funny you mentioned that as well. Last year we had Luna with La Festa, didn't we? And I absolutely loved that song after listening to it. So I'm really hoping that the Netherlands can build on that result from last year. And yeah, I would love it if a dance song went this year, or even the Netherlands. Just, yeah, it would be just such an amazing result for them. So yeah, so there we have it, guys. That is our 5 songs and entries we have so far for this year's Junior Eurovision. Don't forget, guys, this year's Junior Eurovision will be taking place in Nice in France on the 26th of November, so make sure you don't miss it. As always, guys, Dominik and Jess, thank you so much for joining me in this video. It's been a pleasure. And guys, Eurovoxx fans, please don't forget to like and comment on this video. And yeah, keep your eye out for more. We're going to have lots coming up. We're going to be covering the whole of Junior Eurovision. So make sure you stay tuned. And we'll look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.